Hello, this is Adam Henderson. I'm bringing you another game from my WordCup 2024. And the next opponent that I am bringing you today is Yuri Pavovarov. Even though his name has two J's, it's pronounced Yuri. Um, and that's what he looks like. He's rated over 1800, so very strong player. And stronger than me overall, but of course I can always win a game against him despite our rating difference. He goes first. And let me bring up the game on my phone that I took a picture of so I can make sure I know what's going on. It's the first game of day 4. And he begins with pretty high point opening play of John. And he plays it in this position. 28 points. That's a good score for your first play. I have a dreadful opening rack. And here I decided I don't always play through racks like these. It might even be better to exchange in this rack. But the problem with exchanging on this particular rack is that the only vowels I have are the I and the O. The O is not a particularly good vowel to keep, and I's tend to be, in particular, tend to be vowels you don't want to keep at the very beginning of the game. And the reason I found that you don't want to keep I's at the beginning of the game is because I's seem to be very plentiful at the beginning of the game. And you don't really want them, and they duplicate so often. And even if they don't duplicate, you can end up drawing a Y with an I, and it's still kind of like having two I's on your rack, because Y is just another form of I. So this is kind of a terrible rack. I think if I were to exchange on this rack, I would just exchange all 7. The reason I didn't exchange on this rack is because he just played John, and the J is slotted in the E column. So if I exchange here, he's going to get an opportunity to just score another like 20, high 20, or even 30-point play using the J, and I would be down very easily, down 60 to 0 or over 60 to 0 if I didn't play through the J. So I elected to just play Goji with that considered. Yeah. So yeah, I can see good being the play here. I can also play it down here if I prefer. I think I'd probably prefer in this position just to maximize keeping the board open. That's one of my goals in the opening, is to keep the board open. Yeah, so I played Goji. I don't think it's a terrible play. So I'm trying to figure out what happened here, because he played a phony. I'm trying to figure out where he would have played it. I guess his phony would have had to have gone through the G. And I'm not sure if he used the blank or not here. Normally, if I challenge a word off, I write down what his rack is, but I didn't do it here. I don't think he had the blank here. I think when he played this word, it was a natural. which I'm always suspicious of natural bingos because those tend to be the ones you really don't want to let go. Bingos with the blank, which you're unsure of, it's almost better to not go after those just because natural bingos hit so much more harder than blank bingos, because if you do challenge a blank bingo, he loses a turn, but often he's just going to bingo the very next turn, so the value you're getting out of challenging that play is not as much as if you were challenging what you call a natural, which is a bingo formed without a blank. So he plays this word. I imagine this is another alien word. It's similar to a word that is valid. There is a word Fenegas. This is for my non-expert players. There is a word Fenegas. So maybe he was thinking that there's a word that is, I don't know. If you're watching this, just put in the comments below what you were thinking here. I'm sure he has a good explanation. Yeah, it would have been a Spanish word, and adding the do to it would also sound like a Spanish word. So I can understand why he might have thought this was a word. But I made the correct decision here and challenged it. It was not an easy challenge for me. I'm sure I agonized over this one. Take a brief moment here. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm just looking at myself to make sure my appearance is okay. I think it is. I'm not sure if my head here. I'll pause it. I want to see if my hair is okay. I think my hair is good enough. Let's continue on. So yeah, this was a good challenge on my part. Pat myself on the back for making the first good decision of this game. And I have a little bit better rack this time. Doesn't bingo, of course. So it's saying I should play Yods here. Yeah, I mean, let me look up what this is going to be a pretty negative equity here with that leave. EIO. It's negative 12, so this play scores 29, but you have to subtract, you have to add the negative number to it to get the true value of the play. So 29 minus 12, this play is actually kind of worth 17. And the play I made here was only worth 12, so yeah, this is a superior play to the play I made of Yo, which is the second best play. But I made it because obviously I'm trying to bingo. So I mean, in a way, it's understandable. All right, I think that ODIES, it looks like a good leave. Let's see how good that is. EIODS. So yeah, it's actually 11 points, so it's a pretty strong leave. Actually, all things considered, I think Yo is actually better than Yods, because EIO is a dreadful leave, and ODIES is a really good leave. So yeah, this actually is a better play than Yods. All right, so actually he cannot bingo here. He plays Oaf. And you'd think that I would have a bingo with that really good leave, but I don't think I did. I drew a U. I drew a U and another O, so kind of a terrible draw. I decided to play, oh no, actually I didn't draw a U, I drew an R. So this looks like it might bingo, but it doesn't bingo. I'm just checking what floaters it would need to bingo. So M, an M, and an N. It bingos with desirous. So another S or a T. M, N, S, or T. So I am a little bit close, but not that close, because it only bingos with 4 letters, and those are floaters. And a lot of times when you're playing a Division 1 game, early on in the game, like it is here, you don't get a lot of floaters. You only get floaters when your opponent bingos in these type of games. So what did I play? It's liking roused. Okay, so I just flat out didn't see this play. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have played it. I played hour here for 7 with the idea that, what did I leave here? Yeah, I left the same 11-point equity leave of IODES. So I just played the 2 tiles that I drew, which is probably a mistake here. I don't know how big of a mistake it is. I don't have the interest enough to analyze that particular move further. And here he makes a huge play. He plays foraged for 48. Now he's up by quite a bit, 95 to 31. So I'm down 64, which is not a good place to be in. But I did have a bingo, so that was good. So Noddy's comes down, plays in 2 places. I could play oafs, but I played it here. So now the score's about even, and he plays beep. Okay, I have this rack. It looks like it could possibly bingo if I had the right floater. I'm just curious which floaters. So an L in the last position or an S is what I need for this rack. I played Nutria, which isn't terrible. It's the 6th best play. So is actually good here, which is a little bit surprising because that floating D is a little scary. But does block. There's 3 S's out, and it blocks the O hook. So I think that's why that play has so much value. So scores only 3 less points than Nutria. Yeah, and it leaves a good leave. AIORT. It's not that good. It's slightly negative. Anyway, Nutria comes down. Just out of curiosity, what is TO worth? Yeah, TO is actually surprisingly bad. It's -2. All right. So here is where I have this game. Let me show you this game that I made. So I want to explain why I need to challenge this. So I have this game that I created. It's just a console game. I was trying to get people to beta test this game, and I haven't been very successful in getting people interested. But I think partly it's just I didn't want to spend the hassle of getting a graphical interface for it, and so it's just a console game. And I'll leave my email address in the description, so you can contact me if you want to play this. But so this is my game, and the first level in this game, I'm going to go try on load. So you can see my list of the first level is actually word, and it's ending in like. So I guess when I had the idea for this game, I just wanted a way to study words by common suffix and prefix. I decided to make like the first level. So let's play the first level. You can see there's I don't do this for every level, but for this particular level, I included all words from 7 to 15 letters, just because it's such an interesting prefix, I think. Usually I have the range between 7 and 9 or 7 and 10. But, there's all sorts of words ending in like. Here's shoe like. Actually, shoe like isn't good. Hat like. And then there's every animal takes the like. So you have gnat like. You have fawn like. You have fawn like. You have a lot of words ending in like, but I've played this particular level because it's the first level in my games so many times that I do have a little bit more experience with this particular suffix. And so if you guess a word like salt like good, yeah, it's good. Guess I'm trying to think of a phony. Ruby like, that's good. Jewel like, that's good. Trying to think of one that's tongue-like is good. Trying to think of a good phony that ends in like that isn't the word that got played in this game. Art-like. There's no art-like, but there is a rat-like. Like any animal takes a like. So you have dog-like, cat-like, whale-like, shark-like, dolphin-like. I guess no dolphin, but anyway, there's a lot of words ending in like. I don't know where all these words came from. I know some of them probably came from Funk and Wagnalls, but I think it actually may have been the Webster's New World Dictionary that has a lot of them. Because I remember way back when I was first on the dictionary committee, somebody else was tasked with the New World Dictionary, Webster's New World, and I think they wanted to add kangaroo-like, but it never actually. All of our work was for naught because at first I thought it was because we sent them to Merriam-Webster. Somebody told me that we sent them to Merriam-Webster and it just went nowhere because Merriam-Webster, if you try to contact them, they'll just say, "Oh, well, we're too busy to respond to you," and that's basically what they said to us. I kind of find Merriam-Webster to be a little bit too snooty. I mean, they do have a very high standard for lexicography, which is great, but the flip side of that is they feel like they're too good for everyone. I personally like I'm back on the dictionary committee for NASPA, and I'm back to culling words from that dictionary for the next update. And the main thing is for all these original sources. There was 5 original sources, and the Funk and Wagnalls 1974 was one of them. It's a collegiate dictionary. It seems like what happened was whoever originally was on the first dictionary committee to put words in the original NWL, TWL word list for NASPA, they only put words in there that had the main entry was up to 8 letters long. So originally I was tasked to update the long word list, and basically that's the same task I have now. It was like our first attempt failed, and we're trying a second attempt at it. So that's where we are. Anyway, that was a long tangent. Give me a break here before we move back to the game. So here, Yuri plays a particularly good phony because this word makes a lot of sense. Like it should be a word ending in like. It's like grid-like is, that should be a word, right? Like, So I think this again was a natural bingo because I don't see. Actually, maybe I'm trying to think. Okay, so his next play was a like. Okay. I'm not sure if this was a natural bingo or not, or if he had the blank at this point. So he plays a like, and then he plays oping, and then eventually he plays race mates with a blank. Oping. So he definitely had like. His next play was oping. I'm guessing he had a blank and then two other letters. So he played grid like. So I'm guessing, yeah, he had the G. He had one other letter. Maybe it was another I. So this is just a guess at what maybe his rack was. Maybe his rack was this. Um, Again, I didn't. Oh, actually, I did write down what his rack was. Okay. I see on. So I did actually do it this time. So you can see right here, I wrote down GRI like. So this was another natural. So he plays grid like here, which normally would be a really good phony. I did agonize over this one, but I think I knew enough to challenge this one because of this game. I vaguely remembered playing this game and grid like was one of my guesses and it not being valid. So I challenged this off. Oops. So I'm actually doing pretty good here. And I have this rack. Does this rack have any bingos, Roddies? No, it doesn't. And there aren't any. There's the D. The only floater is that D. So if I can't make a 7 and Roddies doesn't have any 7s, it would have to be through that D. There isn't anything through the D. All right, so what do I do here? It says I played bot. So I just got rid of the T. I guess that makes some somewhat sense. I think that's a strong leave. Let me see how strong that leave is. So the O is it's about 25. So O is 25. And EORST, how strong is that? EIORST is 25 and ER, yeah, okay. So actually this is a better play to just play it because I score. I score 8 more points by playing it here. The only downside is it blocks bingo lanes, hooking the oaf. And I know that he's not going to bingo, so maybe this isn't the best play since I know what he has. Yeah, it here is probably a better play here. Yeah, this is a much better play. That way I've maximized my chances for bingoing next turn because I know he doesn't have an S. Yeah. So I made a pretty bad mistake here of playing bot. The leave of EIORST is not as strong as I probably thought during the game. I should have gotten rid of and keeping the O is not as bad as I thought it was too. I generally do not like keeping O's when I'm trying to create a bingo rack, but it's not as bad as it seems. So yeah, I played bot. And he plays alike. I don't think I was able to bingo here. Yeah, I pulled the X, which is terrible. So it needs a only bingo. It only bingos with a C. So the X was not a welcome pile here. I played Kex here, which, I mean, I guess it's as good as these other as ticks. So I guess Kex is good. What do you play here? So he didn't bingo yet. I had one more. So he actually could have played here for a lot more, opening here. So that was a miss on his part. He plays opening here. I drew the V, and it looks like an L. So yeah, I keep. This is why you don't bingo, guys. It always seems to come back to bite you. So I don't have a bingo here, and it's pretty clear that he's going to bingo on the next move. So what do I do here? I played Verl, which is the fifth best play. So this top play is Vlogs. Yeah, that's definitely the right play. Scores 18 more points. All right. Yeah, that was a miss. And then he plays Race Mate. So now, despite having challenged 2 words off, he's still in the lead. I did draw a blank of my own. And I played the top play of Stowing, which I misscored as 77. It's actually only 76. He plays Vicar. I make a lot of scoring mistakes. I'm sad to say about it. I think because I'm so nervous during these games, and I have a really slow way of counting plays. I do that to try and. The reason I'm so slow is because I don't like misscoring plays, but I end up doing it anyway, even with the slow method I use. I haven't really figured out a better way of doing it. So I have this rack. Just played the Q. He plays ABBA. Finally seeing the spot that he could have used before. And I'm down a lot, but not quite out. And here I played a phony. And got away with it. Wellist is not a word. There's no 7s in Wellist. Okay. Well, good on me. I got away with a phony bingo. He plays yeah. I'm sure that was just a spot where he felt confident he could win. As long as he didn't lose a turn after Wellist. That's a common theme in Scrabble. And I'd get rid of the U's, so I played Ulu. Where does Ulu play? Oh, plays here. So actually I could have played Luau. Looks like that's the best play. No, actually, I think Ulu is better than Luau because it leaves one in the bag. So he plays Rain. My last rack, my last chance to win this game. And I missed. This would have won the game, Diastema. I would have won 449 to 390. So I didn't find out Diastema. I knew the word diastema. I'm not sure why I didn't find it. But I just could not find. I think I may have been low on time. In fact, I'm very sure that I was low on time. It's very likely that I was low on time due to the difficult challenge decisions I had to make in this game and other decisions I had to make. So that's what I would attribute missing diastema. I think if I had more time, I probably would have found diastema. Because it's definitely a word I know. It's very common, high probability word. So I just missed it. And I played Misted instead. And he goes out. Well, he actually doesn't go out. He plays Xian. And I play Za. And the final score was he had 431 to 391. So looks like he must have misscored something. But anyway, that's that game. And if you liked this video and you enjoy my content of watching maybe not the very highest level of Scrabble, but high enough level of Scrabble, semi-pro level of Scrabble, please like my video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.